Well, hello friends, Coach Bob with you today, and today we are going to be talking about Zen and the art of motorcycling. Man, yes we are. So what does that even mean? You know, I got an email this week earlier where someone was texting me and they're saying, you know, that they're dealing with a lot of problems in their lives, and I'm keeping this anonymous because of obvious reasons. But they're dealing with problems in their life, and they're finding it very, very difficult to escape those problems, and they don't know what to do about it, and they're not even enjoying their motorcycle riding. It's like everything has just kind of come to a head in their life, and they're struggling. And they were asking me, in light of the things that I go through and that I am currently going through, and for those of you who are subscribers, you know those things, how do I stay so positive? How do you get out on the motorcycle and just escape it and enjoy it? And I got to thinking about that. Now, there is a certain matter of my life where I have a certain amount of peace based upon my faith, but that's a different line of questioning altogether. So let's talk about the way I approach motorcycle riding, how I escape the issues in my life and what it does for me. And maybe if you're dealing with problems or trying to put the joy back into your motorcycle riding, this is the video for you. But before we get going, if you would, subscribe to the channel, all that jazz. You know we're trying to grow. We want to be big. We want to be big old giants. That'll take the stress out of it. But no, so here we go. So the first thing you have to do, this is a philosophical approach. We'll close this up here. So this is a philosophical approach, and Coach Vic often antagonizes me about my philosophical approach to life and the way I handle things and the way I approach things. But I believe that the way we see things matters. The way we perceive things matters, not just of what we're doing. I mean, I can get on this motorcycle and be consumed with problems, or I can get on this motorcycle and be consumed with joy. So the first thing that we have to do when approaching this sort of thing, we'll talk about prerequisites later, but let's talk about the actual ride itself. The first thing you have to do is you have to approach the ride as this. I am not running from my problems, I'm running to my joy. Now I know that may sound silly and it may sound like it's the same thing, but it's not. Ooh, big old log in the road. Don't want to be running to the log. Clear. So why does that matter? I was always taught as a young man by my father. He had this little saying, look, if you're moving somewhere or doing something so that you can be better, that's fine, but don't run from your problems, because if you're running from your problems, you're going to find them when you get there. You need to deal with your problems and you need to get them resolved, then move on. Now, we know in grown-up land that life is not, you know, a box with a bow on it. You cannot resolve a lot of your problems. Long-term health issues, long-term financial issues, real problems, real grown-up problems that you're contending with. And so you can't resolve those problems, but what you can do is not run from your problems. So you're not running from your problems when you get on a motorcycle. You're running to the freedom. You're running to the joy, the pleasure, the fun. You're running to those things, and that is a big difference. So you're not trying to put something behind you, you're trying to put something in front of you. And if you're facing forward, and if you're riding, you should be, if you're facing forward and you put this freedom in front of you, then you're going to enjoy the freedom a lot more. I have some friends who are ex-cons, we'll call them. I don't, is that a word anymore? I don't know if it is or not. In our vernacular it is. But they told me when they were released from prison, they had to run to freedom, not run from jail. If they ran from jail, they would always feel like a prisoner. They would always be looking over their shoulder, and that they didn't want to do that. They wanted to look at freedom, and they wanted to look at life as a free person, because we often discuss that transition from being incarcerated to being free, and it's a very big deal. It's a tough transition, because you can be free and feel like a prisoner. And you can have freedom on a motorcycle, but still be consumed with your problems. So don't run from your problems, run towards your freedom. There is a difference. You're not trying to say your problems don't exist. You just want to enjoy your freedom. You want to enjoy the liberty and the freedom that the motorcycle ride gives you. All right, got a flag man ahead. He's waving us on. We had a big storm come through here a couple of weeks ago, and I mean, it tore some massive, monstrous trees down, and waving us through. Thank you, man. All right, how you doing, man? Had that guy yell, nice bike, nice machine, nice trike, whatever, nice ride. So that paradigm right there alone will help you do that. It will help you let go of those shackles of angst when it comes to your problems. All right, so tip number two. Tip number two is a good one because it allows you to focus on something, to ride with a purpose. Now, you know, I play music every now and then for a group called the Parrothead Club, and what they do is they have fun, right? But as they're having fun, they raise money for good causes. And what they do is they call it partying with a purpose. And I think that is a beautiful metaphor for what we're doing here. We're riding with a purpose, and that purpose can be one of many things. It doesn't just have to be riding for enjoyment of going, you know, I'm escaping the world that I'm in. Remember, we're not supposed to be doing, we're supposed to be running towards the ride, but it's more than that. It could be, my purpose is to come to a perfect stop at every stop sign. My purpose is to hold my line perfectly today, to select the proper line. My purpose is to just simply observe the surroundings around me. It's all of that. Ride with a purpose. Have something you're going to actually focus on. There again, there's the difference, right? When you're running from something, you're still thinking about the things that are behind you. But when you're running forward, you have a purpose. And it could just be, I have a loop that I ride. And with me, you know, I turn right here on McCracken Road. And this right-hand turn right here, I know that I have a purpose. And the purpose here is to make sure that I make it around these curves without running into the pine trees. So you have to have a purpose. When they party with a purpose, look, they could just party. If they partied, they just, you know, hang out and have a good time. But the Parrotheads, they party with a purpose, and so they actually give money to people who need it. And that's a really cool thing. And when you ride with a purpose, you become a better rider. You become a more fun person to be around when you're out riding. Those things really do matter. It does matter that you have a purpose when you ride. So number two is ride with a purpose. Remember what I said? Come to the perfect stop. I want to come to the perfect stop where the bike doesn't lurch backwards. It's just a nice, smooth right to the stop bar, just like that. Beautiful. But ride with a purpose. Work on your skills. Enjoy it. All right. Well, we've had a little change of venue, haven't we? That's okay. You know, remember I told you earlier we were going to talk about the prerequisites before we close this thing out. So let's talk about the prerequisites. Now, there is a prerequisite to all of this that I think we all need to do. We all have to, and you know, you can't change this overnight. As with anything in life, you cannot change it overnight. If you decide you're going the wrong way and you're on the interstate, you can't just turn around. You have to get to the next off-ramp, and then you have to go across the interstate, and then you have to turn around and go back. So you may actually have to go 10, 15 miles out of your way just to get back on course, right? So that's how life is too. So let's talk about the prerequisite. Now, I'm not saying that you have to have completed them, but you have to recognize what's going on. You have to recognize that, you know, maybe you're going in the wrong direction and you need to turn around. So let's talk about those prerequisites. And you know, they're going to be in your face, I'm going to tell you, because You hear those prerequisites every time I close out a video. So what are they? Here they are. Number one, go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams. Now, why do I say that? Why do I say the motorcycle of your dreams? I want you to understand that I was always taught it's not enough to have what you want. You got to want what you have. You know, I want this motorcycle, and I have it. But I don't want another one. I want this one. And in wanting what you have applies to everything in your life. Whether it's your wife, you've got to want your wife. You don't want the other guy's wife, you want your wife. You don't want the girl down the road, you want your wife. You don't want the other guy's pickup truck, you want your pickup truck. If you never have what you want, you'll never be happy. If you're never satisfied with what you have, you will always be in that quest for more. And it will be a big giant gaping hole in your heart. You have to have the motorcycle of your dreams. Now, is it the top notch, the best of all things? I will say no. I would say no, it doesn't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be the one that, you know, literally, oh, I dream of having a MotoGP motorcycle. Yeah, well, it's $1 million and you can't ride it on the road, so it really wouldn't serve your needs anyway. Now, I'm fortunate enough that I have 4 motorcycles. You know, I have the Spyder, my Speed Triple, my Suzuki SV, and then this beautiful 22 Tiger 900 Rally Pro. And so whenever I want to go on a ride that is a little bit different than the others, ooh, nice, a stop without foot coming down. But if I want to go on a ride, then I know that I can just grab the motorcycle that I want to ride, and I'm completely happy. I have the resources to do that, but I'm going to tell you, if I had to get rid of all of them and keep one, I could do that, and I would pick the one that would suit my needs perfectly, and it would be the motorcycle of my dreams. So, first off, make sure that you're happy with what you have, and if you're not, learn to be happy with what you have. Because most of the time when we're not, it's just because we're ungrateful. I know that sounds terrible, but it's just true. All right, the next one, you hear me talk about it all the time, eat right and take care of yourself. Well, you know, we hear that one a lot, but we often forget to do it. You know, there's a guy that follows us, that follows this channel. His name is Stephan. I'll drop a link to his channel down below. And, you know, he has taken control of his life. He's taken control of his health. He's a picture of that. I want to say he's lost, if not 100 pounds, darn close to 100 pounds. And the guy is doing it right. He's just absolutely doing it right. He's taking control of that part of his life. And if you're not taking control of that part of your life, I want to tell you that you are robbing yourself, because the reality is you can enjoy everything you do at a higher level if you're fit, if you're healthy. Now, we know that cancer and things can happen in life, and we know that bad things can happen to good people. So I'm not saying that you have to be the picture of health. But as far as you are concerned, as far as the power that you have to do these things, to eat right and take care of yourself, make that decision every day, and it will make this way more peaceful and way more fun. And here's the other one. If you're not having fun, you're doing it wrong. That needs to be one of your missions when you go out, is to have fun. You know, so many times we forget to think about that. Why am I going out? Well, you know, I want to have fun. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to have a good time. I want to laugh. I don't want to frown. I don't want to cry. You know, there are times, and there are a lot of self-help books that I've read over my life, and you know, philosophy books. And one talks about, if you want to be happy, smile. It doesn't say once you're happy, smile. It says if you want to be happy, smile. The releasing of those endorphins makes a difference in how you feel. Movement makes a difference in how you feel. That's why I say eat right and exercise, right? That is the answer to being able to physically have fun. But it's very difficult to quantify that sometimes. What fitness means to me and what it means to you is not the same thing. Just because I think that going to the gym an hour a day is enough that might be way too much for you. 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes 4 times a week, 20 minutes 3 times a week, whatever it is to you that it takes to get you to that place, you need to do that. Make some healthy choices when you eat also. And last but not least, and I think this is one of the most important ones, seize the day, baby. You got to seize the day. Carpe diem. You really do have to seize the day. The day is here. What are you going to do with it? If it were your last day, if today were guaranteed your last day, you would be all over this thing like an ant on a Cheeto, man. You would be seizing this moment. And that's the veracity that you have to attack each day with. Now, are we capable of doing that every day at the same intensity level? We're not capable of doing that as human beings. You just have to do the best you can. Attack it with the aggressiveness that you have inside of you for that day. Whatever it takes to give the best you have for that day. But you need to seize the day. So there you have the prerequisites. Again, you'll hear all this at the end of the video, at the end of all of my videos. All right, so let's get back on the Spyder and figure out the last couple of things we need to do. All right, well, the next one that we have here is to recognize the beauty around you. Now, when I say, you notice I choose my words very carefully. Why didn't I say focus on the things around you? You should recognize the beauty around you, but you should not focus on it. The next reason will explain why not. But to recognize the beauty, we want to see the trees and the beautiful sky and the pleasant climate and all of that. We want to recognize it. We want to be a part of it. We want to be a piece of the fabric, one line, one string within the fabric that makes up this beautiful picture. It makes all the difference in the world to recognize what you're looking at for what it is. You know, every time I'm on this road, I have memories on top of memories on top of memories, and I recognize the beauty of where I am. I also recognize the hazards of where I am, which leads me to the next one. In order to be able to have this Zen moment, you do have to focus on what you're doing. Remember when we're talking about riding with a purpose, you have to focus on your riding. You have to really concentrate on being a skilled rider. To be able to hold that line better, to hold that curve better, doesn't necessarily mean riding faster or more dangerous. It just means focus on your ride, because riding is a skill, and when you focus on that, you really don't have time to be thinking about the problems in your life. If you're thinking about the problems in your life, what's going to happen is you're not going to focus on your riding, you're not going to recognize the beauty, and you're putting yourself in harm's way. You just are. All right, well, before we share the last one, I want you to do me a favor. You know what I'm going to say. Subscribe to the channel. All right, so enough of that. Quick and easy. The last one. Don't whine. If you're with people, you're riding with people, don't whine. If you're riding with other people that do whine, don't ride with that person. You don't want to ride with whiners. I can tell you right now, nothing could suck the air out of a room like a crybaby. Now, when I go out with friends and I'm dealing with issues in my life, when we're riding motorcycles, we don't talk about those things. We just don't. I don't want to taint the experience with the problems and the hassles of my world, because I'm not running from those problems. I'm running to this. And this compartment, this beautiful compartment here, it doesn't have any whining in it. What could I possibly be whining about? I'm living in this moment. This moment right now is what matters. And that's the key to it all, is to live in that moment, that trouble-free moment where no whining is allowed. You're recognizing the beauty around you. You're riding with a purpose, and you're focusing on what you're doing, the task at hand, to pursue excellence with that task at hand. All right, well, there you have it. A whole boatload of Zen for you, baby. Another great way to deal with the stress of life and put the joy back into your riding. I love it. If I could ride all the time, you know I'd be doing it. Yes, you do. All right. Well, do me a favor until next time. You go out, buy the motorcycle of your dreams, eat right, take care of yourself, and remember, if you're not having fun, you are definitely doing it wrong. Now you go seize the day, and I will see you on the road real soon. And I can guarantee you this, I'm going to have a smile on my face, and so will you.